Hey guys, King Jad here, and welcome to my video where I thought I'd take every single number 1 entry in the worst DSP gaming moment videos that we've seen produced each year and see if we can decide what is the overall worst ever DSP gaming moment so far of his career as a content creator. I will say it now and at the end too, thank you very much to Freyhua Secret Limited, the Jackal's Lair, and Agent Proper for their efforts in producing these videos in the first place, for us to appreciate and for me to shamelessly use his footage, while I talk a lot. We're looking from 2015 to 2021, so let's get started with Freyhua's 2015 edition of what they picked as their number 1. In 2015, after hitting the Patreon target of fans funding the reboot of Project 7, Phil at first moved the goalposts and said he would make a trailer for it instead. He then didn't even bother with that, claiming the planets aligned, telling him not to do Project 7. Kay Gallian was someone who invested in this and left in disgust for a while before returning because he had nowhere else to go. Another bait and switch happened when he pulled a montage for Alan Wake, which fans also donated money for to see to be made. He forced his fans, after donating all his money to get it made, to select the clips themselves because he was too lazy to watch his own content to find the montage-worthy moments. So after his fans did this, he made part 1 of it, and he was not happy with the views it got and complained about being able to get similar views for only 10 minutes of work instead doing what he usually does. Final mention in his number 1 moment for another Patreon bait and switch, asking for excessive donations for Patreon to go towards a new camera to invest in for higher quality footage, which he then decided not to follow through with after he accidentally sabotaged his own income by mass deleting several videos. Multiple Patreon scams as his number 1 for 2015. The Incident. Do I even need to say any more? The Incident, 2016's top moment. The dumb bastard left his webcam on and he decided just to jerk it where he works. His lucky fans got to witness his O-face. He declined having done anything at first, but seemed to change his mind when far bigger YouTubers like Keemstar noticed, with DSP hoping to get an invite onto his show to chase some clout. Keemstar seemingly ignored his requests, and without a doubt the one thing that Philip P. Burnell will be remembered for the rest of his life is that he masturbated online in front of a bunch of children. His legacy will live on long after he is removed from this world. Right, this is a little bit confusing. So DSP had had enough of the adpocalypse screwing with his income, and he demanded answers from Machinima, who he was a managed partner with at the time. He gave him an ultimatum, and thus Machinima said, "Alright, see ya," which DSP did not desire to happen. With no protection of a managed partner, he had to seek safe haven elsewhere, but fortunately for him, he ended up with Curse, who offered him a decent amount of protection but not as good as it was with Machinima due to the lack of managed partnership. The money he made was acceptable to DSP, so he got on with it for then. But then, another company got in contact with him out of the blue, someone called Poltavi. They claimed to be huge fans of DSP, to be able to offer him a managed partnership to strike down the trolls who try and mess with him and also get him earning big money once more. So naturally DSP said, "Hey, fuck you Curse, I'm going to check these guys out," and he asked for a contract to sign up. Detractors done a lot of digging and discovered that Poltavi was actually someone who then sent on creators to subsidiaries, and in this case that was Laveria Media, who then found out who DSP was and decided they wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. DSP then tried to juggle his multiple AdSense accounts, his first of them being banned by Google previously back in the day for telling people to click on the ads, and this caused him issues of earning money for a small while from YouTube after he fled back to Curse for a last hurrah. It wasn't long with Curse before Curse decided that they had to let him go due to updated YouTube regulations, that they would have to basically deal with every single report that came his way because of his content. It was too detrimental to Curse to try and keep him on board, and so Curse said goodbye to DSP. So after all this time, DSP was cast alone in the wilderness with no one to protect him, and he finally accepted his fan's suggestion of going to Twitch, and that is where he remains until late April of 2021. Of course, he ended 2017 drunkenly insulting YouTube, dropping homophobic slurs.
I want to watch some faggot insult some homo. You go on YouTube.
Classic DSP. So in my opinion, this is one of the worst things DSP has ever done. He ended 2018 by saying that his parents were not doing well at all for health and that he wanted to see them for potentially the very last time the following year before ill health took them away. using his parents as a tool to elicit pity money from his fans and pretending they're on the verge of death, only to then immediately say that his parents are funding a free trip home for Phil and his then girlfriend Kat for a week-long visit. And as of the 29th of December 2021, when I'm recording this audio, his parents are apparently still doing well. For me, it was a very personal and infuriating moment to witness from a DSP, as I had recently lost my father, so while I was still grieving, this piece of shit was using his parents' apparent poor health as an excuse to get a free all expenses paid trip back to Connecticut. So the trip back home to Connecticut was so his family could also fund the wedding of Philip Burnell to Kat. He had denied it was on the cards before leaving, even though many people predicted it would happen. Both his fans and detractors called it in his chat. He claimed he had to lie to his fans to protect their privacy, which to me does not make a ton of sense because people knew where DSP was going to be anyway. They knew details of where and when DSP would be with his parents, and yet nothing happened anyway. So DSP put off marrying Liana, his ex-girlfriend, because he felt it would have been selfish to burden her with his massive debts he had, but that excuse did not seem to be pertinent when it came to Kat. Personally, I feel Liana dumping Phil back in 2017 seriously damaged Phil to the point where he had to replace her with anything as soon as possible and do more to stop that new person dumping his ass like Liana did. Oh, and Mama DSP gave Phil $5,000 to go towards his taxes and told him he had 10 years to make it work or else he had to get a job. Phil has, of course, not taken that ultimatum seriously whatsoever, and it is now considered a detractor meme, despite the source of that being DSP himself when pig-splaining at the time. Well, DSP got it. He previously claimed that declaring bankruptcy would be the worst potential outcome, but him finally getting it approved was a big win for him as it struck off over $130,000 worth of credit card debt. It butchered his credit score, and he had a few scares along the way, like fearing the revelation of his WWE champion splurging would somehow prevent him from getting the bankruptcy. But fortunately for DSP, the person in charge was a complete boomer who accepted that the multiple tens of thousands of dollars of microtransactions were related to DSP's business, despite everyone who is familiar with DSP being very aware that microtransactions play no part in DSP's content whatsoever. To be able to mask an unhealthy gacha gaming addiction into his own business expenses was a risky move, which ultimately paid off for DSP. Nobody in any position of authority could challenge the stance Phil took of claiming the tens of thousands of dollars that would appear in his microtransactions on his bank statements were not business related. So Phil's dirty laundry was out in the open for all to see, as it was all public court documents and somewhat played out in real time from start to finish. Well done, DSP, you got the bankruptcy. Such a successful little piggy. Ah, the bank leaks. God damn, I love those bank leaks. Now let me preface it before anything else, I do not endorse or approve of the methods of social engineering that took place that happened to Phil Burnell. Somebody spent a fair bit of time using the snippets of information that was available to bypass the Bank of America security system to find out Phil's financial statement information, detailing every single debit and credit from the 1st of March 2020 to the 17th of September 2021 for when this took place. This was, in my humble opinion, the biggest ever blow against DSP's word. It was there in black and white, what detractors had been claiming for years about Phil's stupid spending habits, about how much he earns from YouTube and previously from Twitch, and most of all, about spending around $40,000 on what we suppose is WWE champions. Such was the impact of these bank leaks that DSP simply had no way to debunk it. He simply said he was told not to say anything by a lawyer. To this day, he has not explained to his fans who have asked what the iTunes and PayPal microtransactions relate to, as they know too well that it is not related to his own content they witness every day. It is because of the bank leaks that I started making DSP videos again, so I'm certainly thankful for information, even if I disagree with the methods of how it was obtained. Just want to be clear on that front. So there you have it, those are all number 1 moments of each year from several top 10 moments. Which was the worst DSP gaming moment ever so far? You decide. Thank you once again very much to Freyhua, Secret Limited, The Jackal's Lair and Agent Proper for the footage you are seeing just now. I've linked all the videos in the comments down below if you want to see the full top 10s of each year since 2015. This has been King Jad, hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out.